7 o'clock, you please rise and pledge allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. I have the honor this evening to swear in our commissioners for this past election, Charles Gibbons and Earl Piner. So I'd like to do that. Charlie, you would stand up there, please. You say aye, just pronounce your name. Aye.
I, Charles Gibbons,
Do swear
do swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and that I will be faithful
and I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland,
and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland,
and support the Constitution and the laws thereof,
and support the Constitution and the laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skills and judgment,
to the best of my skills and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of Commissioner
execute the office of Commissioner
according to the Constitution and the
according to
laws
the
of the state.
Constitution and the laws of this state.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Sign this. Okay. Okay. Minor. Dan, good afternoon.
I, Earl M. Piner Sr.,
Do swear that I will support the Constitution
do swear that I will support the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
and that I will be faithful
and I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of
to
Maryland,
the state of Maryland,
and support the Constitution
and support the Constitution
and the laws thereof,
and the laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skills and judgment,
to the best of my skills and judgment,
diligently and
diligently
faithfully,
and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of Commissioner
execute the office of Commissioner
according to the Constitution and laws of this state.
according to the Constitution and laws of this state.
Congratulations. Okay. Very good. Okay, now we're all back together again here. Let's move on and get the approval of the minutes of May 16th.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. The motion to accept the financial report and payment of the bills.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Have some budget amendments, Steve?
Yes, I do. I have three tonight. First is budget amendment number 2012-018 is recognized $1,000 from a local government insurance cost grant for the purpose of providing vacuum truck safety training for the Department of Public Works.
Okay. All right, do I have a motion to accept budget amendment 2012-018?
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Second I have is budget amendment number 2012-019 is to recognize $1,111 in the leftover Justice Assistance Grant for the purpose of purchasing special supplies armory for Elkton Police Department.
Okay. I have a motion to accept budget amendment 2012-019.
I make a motion to accept budget amendment 2012-019.
Second motion.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
My final budget amendment is number 2012-020 is to recognize $27,000 $441 of a Justice Assistance Grant for the current year for the purpose of upgrading the Elkton Police Department's records management system. That is to be used for maintenance and operating supplies and minor equipment and equipment in the police department, all funded from that grant.
Okay. Have a motion to accept budget amendment 2012-20.
I have a motion to accept budget amendment 2012-020.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay. All right, also tonight, we have a presentation to make. This will be the first time that we've done this, and it will be a special scholarship award to one of our local students here in Elkton, and we'd like to present that to John Williams Cook. So John, if you come up front, commissioners come down here with me.
Hey, have them turn around so I can get a picture.
Okay. Ready? On behalf of the American Mission of the Town of Elkton, I'd like to present you with this check for $500 towards your scholarship. Thank you.
I'd like to thank the town of Elkton for giving me $500 in taxpayer money to pay for my college.
Before John leaves, and I told him that particularly after the presentation that he could leave, he didn't have to stay for the meeting, but last Thursday evening he was initially presented the award at the senior ceremony at Elkton Senior High School among his peers and staff and faculty, and it's realistic now that he has that, and it's my intention he is headed toward Drexel University in Pennsylvania, a very fine school and a very academic school.
I would like to congratulate John. You might not know him, but he was a little blonde-haired guy when he was growing up. It might not be blonde now, but my wife actually raised him at age 1 and 2, I think it was, and did not realize how big you've grown since then. But congratulations, and our compliments go to the parents for taking care of him, and making him who he is today.
Okay. All right. Now our fiscal year 2013 budget presented for adoption. The Honorable Board of Commissioners, I hereby present the Town of Elkton's fiscal year 2013 budget, attached hereto and submitted for your consideration and adoption. This budget includes the anticipated revenues and expenditures for the period of July 1st, 2012 through June 30th, 2013 for governmental services provided to the citizens of Elkton. This year's budget includes the adoption of the constant yield tax rate for the 5th year consecutive. This rate of 0.4632 for real property represents a 0.52% decrease from the fiscal 2012 rate of 0.4656, as the net accessible real property base increased by the same percentage. The business personal property tax rate of 1.11, along with the cap upon which it is applied, is unchanged for fiscal 2013. The overall general fund budget has increased $986,000, or 9.2%, with $351,000 for the replacement of 9 outdated vehicles, $101,000 in added trash collection fees to cover the increased operating costs of the towns, and $18,000 in capital items for the police department funded by the forfeiture of the seized funds. The public and the business community can expect to receive the same level of government services as was provided during the previous year. The revenue in the water and the sewer funds have been presented using the same rates as those adopted December 2011. Negotiations continue with Artesian Water Maryland to provide the most cost-effective backup to our surface water treatment plant as mandated by the state of Maryland. Additionally, alternative backup sources are actively being pursued. Any water and sewer rate adjustments will be done only after very thoroughly considered all options available to the town while maintaining the compliance with the state. Money collected from the major facilities and the front footage assessment charges for new construction and major renovations are intended to fund growth and development-oriented capital improvements and equipment. There has been no adjustments to the rates in the fiscal year 2013 budget. The town continues to explore options to these fees in an attempt to stimulate the investment in new residential and commercial development within the town. I request your support and approval of this year's budget, as well as your continuing support of our goal to provide the citizens and businesses of Elkton with competent and responsive government, one that our community expects and deserves from our leadership. And I'd just like to add one note to that, is that the last 5 years, I did say that we have right for the five years in a row, that we have lost over $1 million in revenue, but yet we still maintain the services for the town. So, if I could get a motion to accept the 2013 budget.
I make a motion to accept the 2013 budget.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, Severn Trent. Ken?
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
I don't have too much to talk about tonight, but I'll try to be brief. I just want to let you know that April was another great month for the water and wastewater facilities. We discharged some really good water from the wastewater plant. We averaged 1.6 on the BOD for the month, which is terrific. Suspended solids 1.2. Total nitrogen of 1.4 milligram per liter, which is pretty impressive. And the phosphorus going out, we averaged 0.02 milligrams per liter, which is practically no phosphorus, so that's pretty good. Some of the key items that we've accomplished. One big item, we've been working, this has been sort of an ongoing project, trying to get the Big L pump station cleaned and get the rags and grease out of the wet well. And as you know, we attempted to do this some months ago, and we had to stop because there were some safety issues that we had to address before continuing with some of the lighting at the Big Elk pump station was not explosion proof, so we had to take care of that, which has been taken care of. So we eliminated those deficiencies. So we've been working with DPW for the last couple weeks, and we finally, this past week, were able to thoroughly clean the wet well of all the grease and rags that had been accumulating in there for a long time. So I'm very pleased. It went very, very smoothly. We still want to go back in there. I think we're going to go back in there Monday night, this coming Monday, and clean out some grit material, sand and that type of thing that is settled in the channels in the wet well itself. But that's not really hurting us right now. It was getting the abundance of rags and grease out of there. So that task has been completed, and it went very smoothly. I'm very pleased with it.
Good. Very good.
I wanted to give you an update. We've been meeting with Jim Beckstrom, our engineer, one of our engineers at Severn Trent, and we've been working on the installation of the screening, the new screen for Big Elk pump station. So we're making good progress in getting that done. So just a few more things, and we'll be on our way with that. We completed the CCR for the water quality report for the citizens, and we got that to the town to distribute. that's been completed. And we're still making progress on upgrading well number 1. We're making real good progress with that. Right now we're working on the interior of the building and working on the walls and the flooring in there, and we have the new tanks to go in. So I hope to have that maybe completed by maybe our next meeting for you. We also met last week, Lewis and myself and A.C. Schulte. We met at well number 2 site, and we picked an exact location for the new replacement of well number 2. And I know A.C. Schultes went ahead and sent in the application for the well drilling, because I sat with them and we went over the permit application and completed that the other day. So we're making real good progress in that direction as well.
He just said, I guess he's getting the permit for that. We just got an email to that effect that he's getting the permit, submitting the permit to get ready to do the
drilling, yeah.
That's great. That's a good thing, yeah. And he's just going to apply for the drilling permit, and they're waiting now for approval from MDE, the Cecil County Health Department. So, and once that's done, then they'll have a schedule to let us know when they begin actual drilling.
Right.
Good. Okay. Sounds good.
So we're making real good progress, I think. The plants are doing good, so.
So how long do you think that will take once you...
To get the permit, or
Take to drill and see what we got, if we got anything viable?
it shouldn't take more than a week, I would think, to actually drill the well.
Okay.
And you know, drill the well and then develop the well. I don't think more than a week. And we'll know, you know, probably after the first 2 days, we'll know, have a good idea of the capacity, or, you know, how much water it'll produce.
Yeah, how far we have to drill, or what the depth is?
It's going to be very similar to the existing well 2, which I believe was 110 feet, roughly. So it's going to be it's in almost the same geology, same location as that existing well number 2, and that well number 2 produced I believe it was 220 gallon a minute. It was a good well, and it served that area for many years.
Right. Hope it works out.
Yes, I do too.
Anything else of Ken?
Thanks, Ken.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ken. Okay, Kenny, you're up.
Okay, my name is Ken Simmons, and I'm the potential developer of Tembe Ridge. You are preparing to annex me into the town. I think I'm on the Planning Commission for the 11th and the Commissioners on the 20th. The only thing that I'm here for, I was going to bring a bunch of papers that go back to 2008, but I decided that'd take way too long. So I'm just hoping all these commissioners and all have good memories. Back when we first started this project, we received a letter from Elkton once we approached about annexation. You know, you find the water and we'll annex you. That was what we were supposed to do. So in that process, we went out seeking water from Artesian and United Water, and we run into a little bit of a problem with Artesian because Elkton was also trying to negotiate something. So anyway, we went and got a contract in I believe it was 2010 with United Water, and we submitted that. And we also submitted our petition for annexation. We're into June of 2012, and I'm still not annexed. Now, my problem with all this, the only reason I'm here, for one reason. I got a letter from the town of Elkton saying that they would supply me with 74,000 gallons of water in Tembe Ridge. That was not the original agreement. That was not what we ever talked about. I have a contract with United Water like I was asked to get. And also, I want to say that the reason I held this United Water thing up for a certain period of time was I was trying to help the town of Elkton with Artesian. And I think I did a decent job because Artesian and Elkton is coming together somewhat. But I don't want to be forced to take Elkton's water now when we have an agreement. And if, I know what's happening here. If you reach an agreement with Artesian, you'll have the water. But that wasn't the original agreement. So basically, I'm just saying, if everybody up here remembers talking about this, that's all I've got to say. I'm done. All we got to do is see if everybody agrees with what we all said 5 years ago or 4 years ago or something. And if we don't, then, I guess we don't. But
Can I have a question?
Sure.
Because I'm familiar with the process of the water transferring from United and what you've stated in your contract as far as the town taking ownership of the process and everything once you get annexed in and everything. But that contract that you have, if I'm not mistaken, has been talked about in three different departments, three different ways. One was with United, then one was with Artesian, and then now is with the town of Elkton. So if I'm not mistaken, because you're telling us what we heard, and I'm a good friend of yours and everything, but it's not about friendship. It's about being
business.
straight and forward with what's been said and what's been put on the document. The contract has been changed 3 different times, and I've heard the last contract that was supposed to be put in place, and it kind of took me for a loop because now it's back to the town of Elkton and Timber Ridge. Now, to be honest with you, the original contract with United, which you have already signed, or at least that's what you said, you've signed a contract with them. That's between you and United.
yeah, and the town has.
And Artesian had nothing to do with that.
No.
But then Artesian came into the picture, and we're trying to work a deal with the town of Elkton with Artesian and you. Now it's not Artesian or United, it's the town of Elkton and UCAN. And right now, I'm a little puzzled which way we're going because you haven't been annexed in yet.
Correct. Now let me just say this. My intentions from day one was to never make a deal with Elkton because Elkton never had the water. My deal was to make a deal with United Water or Artesian. I had 2 contracts in front of me, one from United, one from Artesian to feed me off of Dixie Line Road. I chose United because Artesian was negotiating with Elkton, and I didn't want to interfere with that. I was bringing a 3rd source of water, which I always said I would. So there's no change in my mind in the contract. The town of Elkton has never been part of this contract, never, until I got this letter. Never discussed at all with Elkton to be under contract with Elkton. Artesian and I discussed, yes, but never with Elkton.
No, just interjecting there. United, we as a town and the board has tried to make every effort to try to work with United. Now, if for the public, United is in the picture because we're trying to see what we can do to try to alter the cost or try to help save taxpayers' dollars with the water system. A lot of people don't know it, that even though we're trying to work with United, we can't get a deal with United because they're not up and on running just like Artesian is. We have to stick with them right now. Then there's where the fall is. We're stuck between United and Artesian. United can't help us, and Artesian is the only one dealing with us right now. We're trying to negotiate water prices with United, and you're in the middle of it trying to work with the annexation. There's where the problem is. We're trying to make sure that if it's fair for the town of Elkton, which I know you came with every effort you could to try to help the town, but at the same token, we as officials here have to look out for the taxpayers and say, well, what are we doing as far as trying to negotiate a water price with Artesian if they're going to deal with you, or a United deal with you? Either way it goes, we've got to make sure that the citizen doesn't have to pay that extra money that we're trying to negotiate with, just trying to get you annexed. And again, it's not about being negative with you. It's just that we're stuck in the 3 different categories, whether we're going United with Timber Ridge, Artesian with Timber Ridge, or Elkton and Timber Ridge. And that's the bottom line with the board. If anybody else has anything to say on that.
Well, you know, I'll piggyback on that and say in the sense that, yeah, we're in very, you know, we're doing a lot of negotiating right now, and I think Elkton has taken the time to really think things through and use every option available to us. United, we're looking into our own wells. We're making that progress. So based on, you know, like I said, piggybacking on what Commissioner Piner said, you know, you're confusing me a little bit as well when you point out your negotiations with United and contract, and now kind of like with Artesian, and then you're saying that I guess through that process you helped Elkton some kind of way. I mean, you know, Elkton has you know, bit the bullet on a lot dealing with that contract we already had and getting called to the table on what we had to pay. So Elkton is doing everything we possibly can for the overall benefit of the community.
Well, I think there's some misconception here. Misconception that I'm seeing right now is that you're looking at me as an emissary instead as a friend. That's okay. You can do that. This is business. But most of these negotiations have been done to help Elkton. When I originally started with this job, I had United on the hook way back when. And I have put, now, my theory, not my theory, the contract has always been between the town of Elkton and me, no written contract. But all I had to do was get water to Dixie Line Road, bring it through my project, and tie it into Elkton, and they had a source of water. Now, this is all the way back when you didn't have any water. Now, I can understand you guys rethinking everything. It's all about dollars. I can understand that. But it's not about dollars, it's about integrity. If we don't have integrity in life, we don't have much of anything. This has always been what we always agreed to, and if you want to change it, you can. You guys are a board, you do what you want. But, you know, I did exactly what you asked me to do, and I'm bringing a third source of water in, and I don't want to point any fingers or talk to anybody on this board, but I'm going to tell you right now, if you get together and talk to each other, you and Artesian wouldn't be any closer than you were 7 months or 10 months ago if it wasn't for me. I put this negotiations all back together in the back side of this thing. Nobody knew it, nobody's seen it, don't care, but don't sit here and try to tell me that, you know, I've changed the rules. I haven't changed any rules. I've only done what the town of Elkton asked me to do, to bring a source of water, and now I've brought it, and you should be making an agreement with Artesian. I don't know if you've done it, but I'm understanding through both parties that you're close. And you're a lot better under contract than you were 10 months ago.
I'll tell you what, I'm not understanding how
I'm
you
trying-
got so
wait,
much
Kenny.
information concerning the town's negotiations with Artesian.
Well, maybe some people can speak up and say whatever they need to say.
Now,
Yeah, I wanna-
I like that, and I hear all this conversation, and you talk integrity. What is it that you're seeking?
And that was my question. Are you
I mean,
here to say...
you've come. Go ahead, Mary Jo.
I'll go. Are you sure?
Go ahead, yeah.
Are you here to say that you received a letter from the town of Elkton saying
Right.
that to use our water? And you're here to tell us tonight you do not want to use our water because you're sticking with your deal with United Water.
Correct.
the
That's all I'm really
contract that's
saying.
been on your table
That's what I'm
for
trying to
several
do.
years.
What I'm trying to say to you is I want to be annexed into town like we agreed with United Water. That's all I'm here. And I would have never been here if I hadn't received this letter, because we always had the thought that we were going through with United Water. So this whole thing had been put together with United Water.
But if you want to be annexed and we don't have United Water as a source, how can that possibly happen?
Yeah, I'm, that's
Yeah,
my
you
next
yeah, you
question.
just spoke about how you're working, or you know about artesian in the town of Elkton.
I think, Kenny, I think too, it's, if we annex you into the town, you got United Water, you got the water, you're going to have the water for your development. That's done already. We got the water there. And the other thing, what we would have to do is supply the sewer. Is that
Correct.
correct? So, one for one, basically. Okay.
I mean, this is, what you just said, Mayor, was exactly what we agreed upon. In other words, I did all the engineering on the sewer to find out there was enough capacity, and I paid for that. There was no water. At that point, there was no water. I was told to go find water, you get annexed. I found it. Now, you do your negotiations, have a source now.
But your final water, was that with the stipulation that we were going to use that source as one of our resources?
What I said to you guys was that I would connect you to United Water. Whether the valve's turned on or not, I don't know, but I will connect you and I will turn over all of the water to Elkton. In other words, I'll be putting meters and things in, you will pick up all the customers.
Is there any deadline, I mean, basically as to when we would do that, or up to you as to when the
Well,
development
first,
was
you know,
filled? Completely built?
I have a total contract that says that I got to pay United X amount of dollars and whatever. And so far, United has put the water line on Dixie Line Road, so that valve's there. So it's just a time frame of trying to get annexed and getting approved. Because, you know, I can't do anything until I get approvals. Now, let me explain to you why I tried to help the town of Elkton. This was pretty easy to me. I said to myself, you know, United Water is being very difficult with the town to deal with. Now, I can deal with them, and I've got a verbal that I can get the 200,000 gallons that was put in a letter to me that would be enough water to supply that area out there. So, and that's a verbal with me. I've got 150-some thousand gallons now. I need 70. So, consequently, that can happen. But my thought was, and I brought it to everybody, I said, well, wait a minute. If I hook up to, if I make a contract, which I have a contract, it's not signed, with Artesian, if I hook up on Dixie Line Road with Artesian, you hook up with Artesian down where the 20-inch line is, you have a completed circle. So coming through my property was to complete the loop with Artesian.
Do you hear what you're saying,
Yeah.
Kenny? I mean, you even said it. The town is having difficult with United. You've got a contract with United. If we're having difficult with United, how are we going to deal with them? With you saying you can deal with them, but they don't want to deal with us. What's going to happen is, again, we're going to bite the bullet with United. Trying to, when I say bite the bullet, we're going to get hit with something that we don't really expect to get hit with, because we're trying to work with you with your contract with United. Now, again, you got to hear me out. You have an original contract, you said, with United 3 years ago, whatever it was, and I'm all aware of that. I'm not trying to pull back from what you decided you're going to do with the town of Elkton or anything. It's just that now, in between that process, it became an Artesian and you, and then a town of Elkton and you, and then we're back with United, where the difficult is right now. Your original contract with United, someone in the loop is a little upset because you try to deal with the other two parties. That's the way it looks like to me. Now we're turning out to be the bad person because we can't come to some agreement with United. If we honor your contract from the very first beginning, which you stated, based on what was written for the 200,000, like I said, I can't remember the whole contract. Sure, your contract was to find water, a source where that we could annex you into the town. If that's all in writing and we honor that, then the negotiating with United and the town of Elkton has to be a fair deal where we know we're not getting stuck. That's all I'm saying on that. So, if that makes sense.
I thought I just heard you also have a contract with Artesian.
That's
Did
what I
you just say that in your
Have a
last
verbal.
sentence?
I have a written contract
Not signed.
that Artesian sent it to me, okay? When I sent it over signed, they didn't sign it because they were dealing with you and they were going to try to use Timby Ridge as a pawn. Okay? It's all about negotiations and business.
Sure,
Now,
sure.
you know, and that's what it's all about. And my opinion was I didn't let that happen. I didn't let the pawn be used. Now, let's go back to United for a minute. First place, I really don't want to say these things because it's business oriented, but I need to say it. First, if I buy 1,000 gallons of water from United Water, at the last I talked about bulk, I paid $224 1,000. You pay more than that. Now, also my agreement says that it can be assumed, all this contract can be assumed by the town. So it's not that the town's getting cut out. I looked out for the town. I own a utility company, for instance, Seco Utilities, okay? I am licensed under PSC and whatever. I could use Seco to run my own water. I don't want to do that. I want to turn over this whole job to Elkton after I put all the infrastructure in and after I pay United, and then you'll be paying, there'll be a bulk meter on Dixie Line Road, and you will pay by the 1,000.
Now,
I want to see your project succeed. I'm not saying that, but I don't want your project to be the pawn on what water deal we're doing or anything.
No, I'm not going to let that happen.
And that cannot be in discussion. I mean, we have to make our decisions for the best for all the residents of the town of Elkton.
Right.
So that has got to be taken out of.
Well, let's just take it out because
I mean, that's you, what you're doing. What we need to do for annexation is
That's
another.
correct. So all I'm really asking, we're having a lot of discussions here. All I'm asking to be is to follow through with the annexation the way that it was supposed to be with United Water. And just take everything else out of the picture that you've talked about because it has nothing to pertain to anything except the annexation.
But the annexation has to be done by a contract that if we agree or disagree on something based on the contract that you submitted, we can't agree on something just because you altered it later or put some kind of difference in it, because the contract that we agree on has to be something that you originally presented to us 3 years ago or whatever, not one that because Artesian's out of business, out of the picture or Elkton.
Take
I'm just saying,
Artesian and Town of Elkton out of this water business totally and zero in on Tempe Ridge and United Water and read the contract. If you haven't read it, read it. Because it's all covered in there and there hasn't been a word changed in 3 years.
other than verbal contract. Verbal.
Well, people tell me, I got told the other day, verbal don't mean anything.
Yeah, but-
I'm trying to be truthful with you and tell you what people have said, done. I have a written contract with United Water that I have to honor, or I can get sued. So, and that's what people told me to do, and I went and did it. Now, after that, you know, again, you can, you know, I even suggest this, and I know you're going to say no to this. Don't annex me. Just sell me sword. Don't even annex me. I mean, if we can't do this the way that I wanted to do it and the way we all talked about it, consider not annexing me at all and just sell me sewer.
But how can you do that without a contract being just for the sewer? The contract speaks for the sewer and annexing. It doesn't just say annex and then a separate contract. That's a two-part contract.
No, the town would write the contract for the sewer.
Okay, we're writing another contract now. That's one point I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if you want to think about that, it's not anything that's ever been proposed, but if you can't come to the conclusion that you can deal with United, I do have a water source, I do have a contract, and the contract says in here, if I get annexed, I'm under a binding contract. And everybody needs to read this. And I did this all based on what I was told. And we need to take all this other conversation out because you're reading more into this than I can see.
And I think we're ahead of the gun because it's going before the Planning Commission June the 11th, I believe. I'm sorry? The 20th, the Planning Commission? 11th, right.
But, Mary Jo, how is it going to the Planning Commission? Town of Elkton's water or United's water?
Well,
That's why I'm
I don't know
here.
how you presented it. That's, you
No.
know,
Ke-
it's Town of Elkton.
Yes. The letter he's referring to is a letter I told him that we would provide 71,500 gallons of water to Denby Ridge off our 12-inch line on Muddy Lane. We have the capacity, the hydraulic capacity and volume to be able to do that.
Okay.
Well, no, there's a couple of things then, Kenny, that then we can fight. If, once we annex you into the town, and you got United Water, and once that's all done and said, we don't really have to take anything from United at all, you can control United.
No, well, really, what I'm going to do is, Joe, if I don't want to control United, I want Elkton to control United. So all I'm really saying is, we'll put something in place that satisfies you if you want any of their water. If you don't want any of their water, I will connect it. We'll just never turn it on.
Okay.
See what I mean? I don't have to turn this on.
That was my other question, is once we did that and we got that all hooked up, and we turned the water on for us, what fees or anything would we have to pay back to United, if
Nothing.
any?
Nothing.
There's
I'm
nothing
paying
over-
all the fees.
No fees or anything would be hooked up?
No cost to Elkton at all.
And anything involved in the contract that they're saying that you have to pay, you would pay those fees?
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, just basically, I'll go back to the same thing. It's the same as it was when we talked in 08 or 09. And the only thing I'm afraid of is when I'm here, sitting here now, is I think Lou just said the Planning Commission is going to hear Town of Elkton water. That's not what I annexed with. That's not what I started my resolution with. That's not anything close to what I did.
So that has to be straightened out first before you do anything. With the board sitting up here discussing something with you about something that you're saying that shouldn't even be entered in right now.
That's what I'm saying, yes.
So that has to be cleared up first.
Yeah, you have to
And-
clear that in amongst yourselves. I didn't do that.
No, you can't.
United Water is not even in the state of Maryland, am I correct?
United Water is not regulated. in
They're
town,
not
so they
regulated,
sell in
so
Delaware.
they sell in Delaware. So when you say no fees, there's plenty of fees. There's gonna be permitting and it's gonna take a very long time. No, it does, Kenny. You can't get
Someone's
water
gotta-
overnight with
No.
a flick of a
Someone's
switch.
going to have to be responsible.
Now,
for
you're
that.
talking to somebody with experience. I brought United Water into Persimmon Creek, okay? Persimmon Creek feeds Meadowview, okay? And I brought that into there. There was no fees at all to the county, and I'm telling you, there is absolutely no fees to the town of Elkton. Nothing. All you do is pay $2.24 a thousand if you're going to use it. If I use it in my development, if I use 71,500 gallons a day, you'll charge $4 or $5 a thousand for it. You will pay $2.24, no fees. And I guarantee that. I mean, you know, It's not like I'm coming in here not knowing what I'm talking about. I've done 10 years of research. And the only thing, I'll go back to it again. There's no discussion here. It's exactly what I said from the beginning. The town of Elkton, or Lou, has changed it. And I'm here right now to say that I don't agree with the change. And you have the right to do whatever you want. But, you know, I don't renege on my agreements. When I tell you I'm going to do something, I do it. If you don't do this, you have to live with it, not me. You know, I'm at the age now where I don't care. It's just that I'm trying to work something out, give Elkton a 400 houses development for revenue, and we're sitting here arguing over something that everybody agreed to 4 years ago.
That's not what's entered in.
I don't know.
You got to get that straight for
No,
me.
here's the man that needs to get it straight.
Well, we have to.
And you deal with him.
Okay.
You're his boss. I'm not.
You brought something to the table, and through discussion, we're acting on something that you're saying that shouldn't be entered. So we've got to get that straight first. So you understand what I'm saying there? So where I'm saying this has been juggled around, we're confused on what we're voting on or not going to
Well,
vote on.
I need to leave here. At least I wanted to make this very short. You guys have made it very long.
I think what we need to do is get us together and go to what we discussed tonight, get with Norman and Lewis and try to see if we can work this thing out and organize it so we can get back to you and see how we can go.
And make sure the board knows where we're at with this.
Is
Because
that fair enough?
Let me ask you a question, Kenny. You've got a contract with United right now, right?
Yes.
The board doesn't want you to use United Water, and they decide not to annex you. What do you do with this contract? You just use it for your development, right?
I'm not. If
Outside
you
of
don't
that.
annex me, I think I can get out of the contract because the
I don't really read that, but
Huh?
that's okay.
I believe what it says that if I get annexed, I must provide by this contract. Lou has read that. He probably
And then
would
next
agree
thing,
with that.
And I'm just asking a couple questions to clarify in my mind
Go ahead.
so I can talk to them. You said there's no fees to the town, but actually what you're saying is they would not get the hookup for water either.
No,
Okay, if that
that's what I'm saying. This is
that would
all
be-
over money. It's all over money. Go ahead.
I'm not arguing with that.
Okay.
Then I want to go back to about 15 minutes ago. You said something I didn't understand. You're talking about you had a contract with Artesian that you sent there and signed, what have you, that you could bring through your development and hook up to the town. How are you going to do that when you got United in there?
I'm not.
Okay.
I mean, I can't do that now. What I was trying to explain to you and everybody is, what is the best way to put a water system in? Isn't it to put a loop in and be able to feed from two directions?
I agree.
Okay, that's all I was trying to do, and now I'm getting punished for it.
No first question.
Not you. I'm just talking that everybody thinks now that I was using Artesian or whatever. I was only trying to get Artesian to put that loop in. That's all.
I see.
United.
Prior to your United
Artesian or
contract.
United?
Yes.
Basically, using both.
Are you contractually engaged right now?
Yes, I am.
With who?
United,
And not Artesian?
not Artesian.
And contractually engaged with United in what sense?
That if I get annexed, I must use their water.
And if you don't,
Then I'm going to get sued. There's no doubt
Oh,
about it.
I thought you just said you could get out of the contract.
Right.
There's a-
If I wasn't annexed. See, I don't understand why.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, if you don't annex me,
Said, if
I'm
you
out of
didn't
this
get
contract,
annexed,
but
you would be out of the contract.
yes.
but you
But-
want to be annexed.
If you annex me, I'm tied into a major
I
contract.
understand. That's it.
Okay, it's not, I don't know, maybe it's me in the way I talk, but I try to be factual about things, and maybe I'm too factual and I confuse people. I don't
you
mean to
also
do that.
stated that you've gotten older, so there's a decision to make. Is there a preference that you desire right now to be annexed or not annexed, also considering the fact that there's a contract out there?
Let me just say this. After My experience now, and I'm going to, again, I want to be very truthful. My experience sitting here right now, I would prefer that you don't annex me and you sell me sewer, and that'd be fine.
Right, okay, you answered my question.
Yes, because, you know, I don't feel like I'm getting through to people, and I don't feel like I really care anymore. You know, whether I do or not, I'm an honest person. I've got 35 years experience in this town. I've done nothing but help this town, and I just don't want to hear all this bickering back and forth about what somebody said to me 4 or 5 years ago, because I haven't changed a thing. Nothing. Everybody else has had a piece of me, but I haven't said anything. I didn't write that letter. You guys are not involved in this at all. The town never had an involvement in this. I never asked the town for water. So now we're talking about Elkton supplying water. You better figure out how this happened. I don't know. Because I don't want to go to annexation on the planning commission under the town of Elkton because of principles. I just don't want to do it.
All right, let us get together. And
Okay, that'll be fine.
We'll get back with you, Kenny, and we'll get with Norm and everybody. We'll try and
Will there
sort
be any
this out.
discussion tonight or?
No, we'll get it discussed, and we'll find out how we can do this,
Okay.
and then let you know before
Okay.
what we have to do, what you might have to do. All
I
right.
really appreciate, you know, I realize that, you know, it turned into a rambling situation, but I didn't mean for that. I just thought everybody could remember.
Okay.
What we
Facts that
said.
you brought out, so that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
Thank
Kenny.
you very much.
Thanks.
Okay, Louis.
Okay, the first item I have is the resolution R5, 2012 refuse disposal fee. The resolution provides for an adjusted fee to be collected by the finance department, including the quarterly water bill, water and sewer bill, an annual fee of $97.52, quarterly of $24.38, to offset both the cost of trash and recyclable collection contracts with waste management and the declining present increasing cost of trash disposal to Cecil County landfill. Recommend the board adopt resolution R5-2012.
Okay, we got a motion to accept resolution R5-2012, revenues disposable fee.
And it is for a 3-year term. So,
This is not a 3-year term.
3 years.
I'm
This is
sorry.
a contract.
It's a contract.
This is a resolution
Oh,
for
okay.
disposal fee.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm sorry.
All right, so do I have a motion to accept the resolution?
Isn't that what I just said?
It's for 3 years,
It is for 3 years.
for a term of 3 years.
Right.
Commencing on September 1st.
Okay, that's what I just asked.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Once again, do we have a motion to accept resolution R5-2012?
Yes, I move that we accept resolution R5-2012.
Second.
Second, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay.
The next item I have, Commissioner Jablonski will have to jump into. The National Park Service sent a memorandum of understanding to the town for the Star Spangled Banner National Historic Trail. Listing the town's cooperation to celebrate we want to celebrate the War of 1812 through the Star Spangled Banner Historic Trail in the Chesapeake campaign. This MOU provides for a number of things, but the key goals are to protect the sites, landscapes, routes significant to the understanding of the people, the events, and the ideals associated with the War of 1812 in the Chesapeake region and the Star Spangled Banner, to provide educational and interpretive opportunities related to the War of 1812 and its relevance to modern society, and to foster and improve opportunities for land-based and water-based recreation and heritage tourism. I believe that Mary Jo has worked with a number of people in the community regarding this, and I think the National Park Service wants to put a kiosk up.
Yes,
down
actually,
there.
I printed out a picture also that you could look at. It's been in the makings for about 2 years, the War of 1812, the Star Spangled Celebration. So, and everyone knows it starts the end of next week. And Elkton was chosen for the Cecil County location for Elk Landing. So it's great for tourism. Cecil County Tourism is actually who was working on that. I'm also on that committee. And if you go on the starspangled200.org website and you go to places, it'll come up Elkton, and then it brings you to Elk Landing and Elk Landing's website. And they'll come to the kiosk to see the map and get information that we'll have in the kiosk that's out there now, along with that's there now to direct them. And if people are, they're doing a lot of advertising. The Maryland Tourism has put in a lot of money advertising this. I hear it on Philadelphia channels all the time, on the Maryland channels, to get people to come out and do this. You could go on the website and see all the different things you can do. I think Lewis sent everyone all the different events that are taking place, the tall ships starting the actual celebration. So it's a great thing that we were chosen for that, and it is to direct them to Elk Landing. But since Elk Landing is not open all the time, they wanted the kiosk somewhere where we could watch it and people could see it.
Where's that
So
gonna be?
it's going to be downtown on the corner of Main and North.
They're gonna install it right there?
They will install it. And Dan has been talking to them today, back and forth. And when they get to Haverty Grace, the next stop would be to come to Elkton, where Haverty Grace's kiosk is.
And Mary Jo, when I'm looking through the MOU, they will also provide like other signage and things like that?
There's brochures that have been done,
Right.
and it has write-ups in it, and
Right.
signage at all the visitor stations, or visitor stops throughout the state.
Right, okay.
That's already in place, actually.
As also you know, there's a lot of, that we have to agree to, a lot of steps and stuff we have to agree to on this stuff here. Ensure physical pragmatic linkages with other existing things, vandalism that we have to take care of. A lot of stuff in here, but as long as it don't cost us any money.
It's not gonna cost, you're gonna make money, it's gonna promote tourism.
That's good, no, that's good. No. Okay, and whereabouts, you gonna put it right next to the other kiosks, or?
No, they have, Gene Minner and I looked about 6 months ago. We walked downtown to see where the best place was. And Miss Utility is still coming out because they are going to mark all, there's going to be, we hope to put it when you're going down North Street, right between the two signs there. You'll see it when you're stopped at the light at North Street. You'll see it coming up Main at that light, right there on the right-hand side in front of the Elktown Center towards the street, away from tractor trailers.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Elktown Center,
Yeah.
Newberry slash.
Yeah, that's all we need, tractor trailer come by and wipe it out. Okay, then, do I have a motion to accept the memorandum of understanding for the National Park Service, Star Spangled Banner National Historical Trail?
So moved. So moved.
Second. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Motion carried. Okay.
Last item I have is the contract with Waste Management of Delaware. The town is well aware that the contract expires August 31st, 2012. I've contacted and worked with the representative from Waste Management of Delaware for about a month, and we came to the conclusion that they'll agree to a 3-year term commencing September 1st, 2012, expiring August 31st, 2015. The unit price will be $8 for the first year. This is the per unit price. $8.24 for the second year, $8.49 for the third year. The price for servicing dumpsters 3 to 8 yards will be the same as it's been in the current contract that was initially penned in 2009. The town provides dumpsters to the Cecil County Library, water and sewer treatment plants, all parks, the Elkton Municipal Building, Singley Fire Company Station 3 and 13, the Elkton Housing Authority, and the Department of Public Works, 18 dumpsters in all. The 30-yard dumpster at the Department of Public Works is not charged. They do not charge us for that. We have to pay for the disposal of the landfill, but they don't charge us for the use of the 30-yard dumpster. I would recommend that the town renew its contract with Waste Management for the period September 1, 2012 to August 31st, 2015.
There was a question raised at the Elk Lions meeting past Monday in regards to, and I know Charlie's brought it up many times, with trash being put out in front of the businesses. Is there a way that we could get a dumpster and try and maybe, is there somehow we can get those people to take their trash and had a designated dumpster in the back there somewhere so that they could put it there and then Waste Manager could pick that up from there instead of them putting it on the street in front of their businesses? So when people drive through, they don't see trash all up and down the town?
The contract provides that they'll take curbside or dumpster service. They don't say where the trash will be. They'll go wherever we want. I think the problem you have up on Main Street is that there's no easy access to the back for the residents, and you put a dumpster back there. We don't own any property back there.
And we have businesses that pay for the dumpsters also, so, you know, that's, I think we need to look at possibly trash cans that they put their things in, but like the law says, is putting your trash in your trash cans. But
Some of the people live like on second and third
it's mostly the
floor.
rentals on the second and third floor. Most of the businesses do have their own
And then they wouldn't.
dumpsters.
If they got their trash cans down there, they probably never take them back in because they wouldn't want to be running up and down the steps for them.
It's sort of like the situation with a 90-gallon tote in a townhouse project. If you live in the middle, you have to bring it all the way around all the time, where you go to your living room, and a lot of people don't want to do that. Obviously, from the number of townhouse projects I've seen in town with the trash issue. But to answer your question most succinctly would be to say the contractor will pick up anything we want to pay for. If we want to add another dumpster at another location, they will, at a cost, pick it up for it, because they've defined what those costs are in the contract.
Well, it's a suggestion, a way that we could do that, but we'd have to get.
I really don't think that's the answer.
You don't think that's the answer?
No, it's not the businesses, it's the people renting upstairs.
Well, no, that's right.
That's what it is, and it's just the fact we put out a bag, and if the bag rips open, if they were to have the trash can, it's different.
And that would be handled through code enforcement.
Yeah, code.
Right.
Right. Okay, just a suggestion, we thought we could try.
Thank you.
Okay, a motion to accept the contract for waste management renewal.
I move that. Go ahead, I'm sorry. I'll second.
Okay, any other further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay.
Now, that's my item.
Right, you took the old business. All right, well, you talked about my old business, Ken did, so, I don't know, the old business. Mary Jo, you have any old business?
The only old business I have is I would like to bring up again the zoning ordinance to address clinics. We discussed it a few months ago, and then we never came back to the table. I'd like to have a workshop and possibly have Craig here, and Norman can help us out with addressing something that we had a lot of samples sent to us that I do have. So I'd like to make sure we address that again. And that's all I have.
Earl, anything?
I'd like to find out where we're at with the recreation center, community building. Anybody have any information on that? Anybody know where we're at?
I know Mary's been pretty busy, but, Louis? anyone?
I'm sorry?
Has any plans been submitted and all that stuff yet?
We have not been authorized by the board to go beyond that original concept.
I think we should
Remember,
have,
what they did, they decided to go to Hartford County and look. So they had a couple of trips to Hartford County.
And I
Nothing,
think one of
nothing beyond
our,
this.
when we had our last workshop, the question was the size of the gym, the full size, and, I
I
know,
think we probably need another workshop in Mary, because she did go with us, and we did look at the sites down there and see if she had any other suggestions, so we can then proceed from that point to see if she saw some things that she might want to add.
So you want to put it as a workshop agenda?
So let her get, let her, let us know what she might have thought. And if there's no changes, then we could proceed with getting the architect to draw it up again. So that way then we can get it out to bid.
That's why I asked the first time. I mean, I understand we wanted to go look at the buildings, but we thought we had our plans already set, ready to go. So now we're going back to work session, a workshop to talk about proceeding.
Now, Mary had submitted a recommendation. She had already done that. And then that was suspended and went to look at the places. So I don't know if she had any changes or not. She did not discuss that.
All right, follow up on that for me, please.
Ready? Charlie?
Go ahead.
Louis, I've just got one thing, and it doesn't require any response right now. But I would really like for us to continue to do what we can do to suggest the left turn signal at 279 going eastbound.
I'm already, I've had informal discussions with the state on that, but I'm not, I'm under confidentiality.
I understand, not a problem. Like I said, no need for response. I'd just like to continue the process. That's it for me.
Okay. You all know that some time ago we've been trying to get these wells, well number 4, online. All these years, it's taken quite a few years to get our permits finally, so we can maybe start going along with the PUD out there and get that well going. Well, finally, after all these years, we finally got our permit in place for wells 1, 3, and 4. So that's been a long time coming, but now we just got to go through some other process, and hopefully that will help us get that well up and running. One other thing came about with all these wells. I know there's been some discussion in regards to the Knights of Columbus and the one on Cox's Lane. And apparently from what we found out with all this going on and the state checking this stuff out, was a report that they searched the records and found that the Knights of Columbus well was identified as a tag number, and that was the well located in Cox's Lane. They had a tag number, but basically there were a hand-dug well, both of which were individual domestic use. The Knights of Columbus well does not comply well with construction or setback requirements for public supply wells. The 2 wells in Cox's Lane are constructed for individual domestic use, which are not designed for the higher demands placed on community water wells. So I know we've been in discussion. I might try to find out when we could get into
So the state,
or the Knights of Columbus, where they're not suitable
state's
and not
fine.
demand. So that's, I know we all was trying to look at that at one time, see if we could get water from them, but apparently they wouldn't have been sufficient for us there. So, the other thing is, we have a gentleman on, out there in the Kingston courts that has been requesting some speed bumps out there the past couple of years. I know we sent some surveys out there, and I think they believe they came back in 2 years that The majority of them did want them. We sent a lot out the last time, but we only got a little bit of response, but it did meet the criteria. And the residents do want them, and I was thinking that we need to put some out there. We do have a restoration program coming up that we can include them in there. Lewis and I went out there and looked at it today, and it's feasible to put just the first half of the roadway, not the whole, just the first half, where the hill is, where they're coming down, where he's complaining. They're coming down, speeding through there. And I just want to get the board's approval that go ahead and put them out there for them. And these residents have been after us for the past 2 years to try to get them put in. And I think we, looking out for our residents, that we need to get these put in. What's the board's feeling? If we get, I mean, we have to get this in pretty soon so that they can get KCI and put it in the road restoration program for us. If everybody's okay with it, then Lewis can go ahead and have them put it in there.
Okay, you're making a motion?
All right?
You're making a motion to do
If
that?
you like. You want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we proceed and get speed humps out to the Highlands.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. And I think that's it. Mary Jo, anything?
No new business.
Earl? Charlie, anything?
I want to commend the Alliance for the little parade that they had for Memorial Day. That was a good thing to have in Elkton, I guess. There's been some concern with the guys who go around and pick up the brushes and branches and what have you. Some things, Lois, they're picking up, some things they're not. Maybe you can find out what they're not picking up and why, and if there's a way that there's something left behind that they can contact Public Works to somebody come and look and see what it is.
To piggyback on what you're saying, I made a suggestion because I think that's come up a couple of times. To whereas there are items sometimes I think being left in those brush piles, whether it's on purpose or by accident or just not knowing, but it can damage the equipment and so forth. I think that so that they would know the reason why it's not picked up, that we develop some type of door hanger to say, hey, this is why we left this pile. Please correct that issue and we'll be back. We'll put it in the next rotation. So
That's a good idea.
Well, we do have door hangers. Did you not say they had door hangers or something in regards to that?
Yes, I sent a notice to them, and they do already have the.
Let the men can specify why such and such was not picked up.
They have a number of check marks on there. I think I sent a copy to the board of what that looked like. And they can just write on there what it is. But I think what happens, if you send a grass machine out and there's branches and rocks and grass, it can grab the grass, but it can't grab the other stuff and then leave it behind. And the brush truck will pick up the limbs, but not the rocks or the grass. What we're having is, and I've been out there looking at myself, and you see so many different piles where they just throw all this stuff there. And the only really effective way of doing it is to have 3 different crews do it, but I don't think that people could afford the concierge service necessary to do that in this town. So what they do is they just do the best they can with the equipment that they operate on their schedule. Because you can't take branches and grass and rocks and mix them together, and just, or dirt clumps.
Oh, I totally agree, but that,
They tried that with the sawgrass. People put that ornamental grass out, and it clogged up that machine so bad, they spent 2-3 hours down there tearing it apart and fixing them again. And then, of course, they didn't get out to get the grass. Because it'll pick up clippings, but it won't pick up ornamentals, stuff like that. The machine's not designed for that. So they're smart now, they go buy it. So.
I would suggest that if the public work found that there's a location on a house that they couldn't pick something up after they try to fix the brush or whatever, if they've got the radios, they can call a truck that's going by. I'd rather see the truck stop and pick it up than to go past it. Call on there and ask them if you can swing by such and such, if you got one of the dump trucks and pick this up, we couldn't take it. That's a simple fix of that.
Yeah, radios, they got the walkie-talkies too. That's a good idea. Anything else, Johnny?
Yeah, having ran for election previously, and the last time the town of Elkton, I thought that the officials here did a very good job getting people in and out. There was ample parking. There was not a lot of mix-up. Logistics were very good, and maybe that needs to be considered in the future. You know, it's local, and you have it right in your own facility.
I agree. I heard nothing but wonderful comments about it being here. It was very, very nice.
It was set up very nice, went very smooth.
I
agree.
Yeah, I agree as well. Very good comments. Even the fact that they were able to walk through and see the different photographs and things, and just very, very positive.
Okay.
So, Michelle, thanks to you for what you have done, and others as well. Yeah, I'm done.
All right. I have nothing new other than just to formally again congratulate you guys on your re-election, and look forward to serving with you guys for a couple more years.
Thank you.
Good. Okay, Wes?
Mr. Mayor, may I say something just before Wes could just take a second about the debris being picked up and so forth? These guys do a good job, but they're picking up in areas that are not in the town limits. Walnut Lane on the east side is not in the town limits. They pick up the debris on that side. 2 places on Gilpin Avenue are not in the town limits, and they pick up from there. So they should be made aware where the town limits are in Elkton. They do a good job.
Let me check that
They're
out.
not, the new drivers are not aware of where your town limits are.
That's very possible.
And I can understand,
Yeah.
we have a number of new employees that don't, they actually think Elkton is all Elkton.
Well, I can understand their
And,
situation, because
Once
new
you get
drivers don't
seasoned,
know.
you realize that we're fragmented, and it takes a little time, even for police, believe it or not.
I'll maybe make a little map or something of having the units and show them exactly where to go. Okay, good idea. Thank you.
And before he comes, Mr. Elizabeth brings up a good point. I know Earl and I, we talked about maybe through the town of Elkton, you have a lot of places that's in town, out of town, you know, running for re-election. You know, a lot of those people, maybe there needs to be some consideration of trying to draw those areas in if they want to be drawn in. Holly Hall, you know, throw something at them again to see what's what.
I definitely agree with that.
We
Holly
could,
Hall,
we,
Thompson Estates.
when Mayor Alt became the mayor, we initiated a very large survey and actually went through a very tedious process of comparing their tax rate under our, their tax liability under our rate, and the difference between the water and sewer rates for in town and out of town was a very, very extensive thing. But I think we had, if I recall correctly, less than 10 people
Right.
that actually wanted to become in town.
Well, I think water rates have changed
That may be a
since
new
then,
Yeah, thank
so
you.
I think it's time we look at it and question it.
There's a consequence to that, as you well know.
Explain it. Go ahead,
and-
explain it like you explained it to me.
Service.
If all the people out of town became in town, then their water rates would be reduced, and our revenue would drop by what, 600,000?
I don't know, but the irony would be then if the revenue is set up to support what needs to be supported, the current in-town rate would have to increase.
Yeah,
If there would be the loss of the double out-of-town rate that there currently is.
Just the sewer.
So you couldn't, right now, you couldn't say if you came in town, you would have this much more property tax, if you came to your water sewer bill being this much less. It would have to go up. It wouldn't simply go to the current in-town rate. The current in-town rate would have to increase.
Well, you know, there's a negativity to it, but there's got to be a positive side to this.
There is a positive side. Everybody would share the burden equally. That's a positive side.
No, but-
Everybody would be in town and they'd share that burden of cost equally.
But then we'd have to increase it. But you said we'd have to increase it, then
Yeah,
nobody
it's
would,
going to
yeah.
be more positive for people that are here.
I don't think we would get all out-of-town residents, but when you look at Holly Hall and Thompson Estates, you have 2 houses that are town, one's county, 2 houses town, 1 county. That areas like that might choose to be in-town residents.
If you, if you're going to do it in a private, they have to keep adjoining properties.
So you're gonna
Do it in a private.
water rates even
Rather
more?
than a group house.
Or you're gonna have to raise
In other words,
taxes?
somebody on one street, they're not contiguous adjoining, they would qualify. And so you get to actually pick and choose.
They didn't do that in the past, but my neighborhood is all. Well, I don't know how they did it when the house across the street is county and two is now. But never was like that.
We have to get down.
All right. Okay, Wes, all yours.
Mayor? Hang on.
Rob Andrews. Of course, I'm Wes Walker. Rob's wife runs the Jamaican restaurant downtown.
Unfortunately, she's disabled as of now, but she will be back soon.
And good ideas with the hangar, by the way. And I heard the food was delicious for the people that worked in here. I catered it. We're here for, just to let you know, as a follow-up, I was here a few weeks ago and asked about permission to have the a festival out there at the old bingo truck stop, and we didn't need permission. And it's been a heck of a learning experience over the past 60 days or so. But we met with Gene Minner and Craig Trossel numerous times and gave us great ideas, and we're actually following up on their idea. And Mr. Andrews here is a producer, a promoter with AccuTop Productions, and we just got the approval from the state police and everybody else, so we're just here to let everybody know what's going to happen in the town for a Caribbean extravaganza. And we just signed, he just signed Ziggy Marley to come here August 18th. So we're expecting big numbers. Rob has contacted numerous TV stations, radio stations, and it's going to be in a location where, of course, Gene and Craig and we met with the Elkton Police Department out at 801 Elkton Boulevard. It's going to be during the day on a Saturday, so it won't affect the town residents with noise and things like that while they're sleeping. And of course, we hope they come. It's a different production team that's going. In effect, the one that was there before has since moved out as of yesterday. So we plan to have about 4 concerts this year with maybe like Reba McEntire, Jason Aldean, and some other famous people as well. So
This concert is going to be interior or outside?
That's what I was going to ask.
it's going to be outside
Okay.
in the grass field by the water tower.
Yeah, no letters, yeah.
That's where they had the other big one. That night we had quite a bit of
Quite a bit of
complaints.
disturbance, absolutely, yes.
And what times is going to be?
Well, basically, I would say the time would be from 1 to 7, due to the fact of keeping the residents at a peace of mind. It'd still be daylight, so it wouldn't cause no other night vision or where nobody couldn't see anyone. I'm also must say that the particular type of Caribbean extravaganza is to basically to bring, how can I say it, Jamaica literally to Elkton. It's like a very vacational type atmosphere. It's not nothing promoting nothing illegally, no wet t-shirt contests. It's nothing in that shape or fashion at all. For those people who don't like to fly, ride boats, who may not even have a chance to even afford to even pay any money to have a good time, they will this time. Basically, we got a lot of entertainers that is already known of Ocean City, Maryland, which is Plays and Secrets. So we try to keep it also local as well, so it would be harder to relate. We wouldn't want to call it a reggae because it's not dealing with some total smoking ganja or promoting that. Or we didn't want nothing bad at all because it's good. It's all about vacational, having a good time. Right now we have access to so many entertainers that really want to come to the town. I invited Mary J. Blige, Jamie Foxx, We have a couple other entertainers that literally just want to come by and just see exactly how it may turn out. I see a lot of potential as far as dealing with even the country with Miss Reeven McIntyre. She's a good friend of ours, and she's interested in even coming to the town as well to perform, to bring us some good entertainment.
Okay, is there alcohol going to be served too?
Yeah, I think yes, alcohol will be served. The minors, this is not promoted to be for minors, for us kids or anything of that nature like that. This is not like a fun festival. This is dealing with adult entertainment. If someone get out them, I would say 18 and over, of course, but still be monitored. But more so for people, basically, like I said, for vacational purposes. Those who can't do that will have the opportunity to do that now. Power 99 we meet with tomorrow, to be exact, with one of the top DJs. What they're doing is they're going to different churches and colleges and things of that nature. So the realm of people is literally going to be exactly vacational type people that's going to target.
What about, how do you, sure, it's going to probably be a charge, you selling tickets, or how do you, amusement, or how you doing
Yes, sir.
that?
Yes, sir. It will be admission, as well as for parking. Okay. You have your vendors, which basically benefits Elkton in the whole, actually bringing a multitude of opportunity for people to have, to create business in so many ways. We literally want to bring it like a tropical atmosphere. Like such as sand, volleyball court. We have U.S. We have actually U.S. Delaware. They want to come in and they want to participate in having maybe some volleyball, and you got other participants. That's literally a vacational type atmosphere. So the sun, the sand, Air Jamaica coming out. Literally you have a chance to win tickets. Like I said, it's just basically like we want to make it a vacational type atmosphere where you don't have to fly, ride a boat, or anything. Just come out and have some fun. Good fun.
When is this again?
August 18th.
What are you doing for alcohol? I'm sorry? What are you doing for alcohol?
For alcohol, we're sponsored by Red Stripe. We're going to Zenton.
Who? Red Stripe?
Red Stripe beer, Jamaican beer.
I know, I understand, but what are you doing for a license?
It's going through the Junior Chamber of Commerce, the JCs. They're the sponsor. We've talked to everybody from Earl Bradford to the Health Department, Pikesville Police Department today, EPD yesterday, Tourism, Economic Development.
These are on a one-day license?
Correct.
Yes.
1 day license.
You have any like security out there or anything to
Yes,
keep
yes,
things?
sir. Yes, sir. We definitely.
We've contacted Tarumo, the other businesses in the area, to expect overflow, get staff ready. Tarumo is, of course, going to block it off like they always do. Lieutenant Waldridge has a good handle on traffic. Got with Singerly Fire Company, Billy McCall. He's already contacted the hospital and the hospital, Christiana, just to make sure, and plus Mr. Andrews' mother works at.
Yes, she's asking to participate. She's at Christiana Hospital. She works out of Smyrna, but what she's doing is she's actually bringing in Delaware just for extra, and just in case anything, where we do have support. We also have a planning to have it's called a health fair. Okay, it's a jump off. That's what I call it. We're inviting from university. We got Union. We have Christianity. We have breast cancer awareness. We have various groups such as for community groups that's going to be able to come out there, literally from 10 to 12, to give out information. Got blood pressure checks, things of that nature like that, to bring the community together. Basically, getting out free stuff. Okay, people getting to know their community, fire department, the police, things of that nature like that. We just want to be, like I said before, bring the community together as a whole, and like I said, enjoy some fun. You have all different cultures: black, white, green, blue. We want to bring it together, make one color. Okay, so basically having some fun, and good fun at that. So to be able to have people know your community, we got to have them out there.
How many do you actually anticipate with this withdrawal?
I would say 10,000.
10,000.
I was about to say about 10,000. I would say 10,000. Now, it could be less. I don't want to say too much more, but dealing with the security that we have so far lined up as far as the space that we have occupied, it can hold it with clean rates. Talking with the state today, they're in favor of how from the bridge side and how the back of the building, looking at all the security risks, everything is a green light.
Do you have right now, I know you're giving these things that you have discussed, but do you have a written itinerary exactly who's coming?
Yeah.
Who's coming? Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
For the August 18th.
For August 18th.
August 18th, we're working, since we just got approved, the process is incredibly difficult. It's like one of the biggest events to happen. And it was hard going around to get everybody together. And since this is the first one, we definitely want it to go over well, which we anticipate, so we're having abundance of everything. So that way the second and third one can go well. I only want to do 3 or 4. We do have plans, bigger plans that we can probably shed at the next meeting what happens there for that.
Now, obviously, this is going to be an all-day event.
No, just till
1 to 7. Well, the jump off, right?
Okay,
That'll
yeah.
be inside the building.
Yeah, the jump off would be inside the building. Did you also mention, well, also dealing with like nurses on staff, standby from both hospitals, also will be there as well. Like booths and things of that nature, just as a one nurse, like one
Okay.
call nurse.
With the jump off, so what time are we starting? What time is this event going to start?
From 1 to 7.
But the jump off.
Oh, the jump off is actually from 10 to 12. It's a 2 hours, an early bird thing. Get them out there, get them in. They can give out their free stuff. Meanwhile, same time, letting people of the town of Elkton know that it is something that's about to happen here, if they choose to go. Meanwhile, we promoting all around from Philadelphia on down to Baltimore.
So
Pretty
if the
much.
train system was here, it would be great.
Okay, and then you just said this was now, instead of being out at the old bingo lot, it's now on 801 Elkton Boulevard.
No Pirellis.
And you've met,
Yeah, Pirellis.
right, and you've met with
The owners.
and Elkton Police Department, and everyone's giving you the thumbs up on your plans.
Correct.
Have you, Chief, are you, you're involved in
I'm
this?
aware they had a meeting with Lieutenant Wallace.
Okay.
There's nothing that we have to approve. We
Right,
just
'cause
did
it's-
a guidance with
Right.
Wes.
I just want to say I've met with Wes a couple times with another partner involved. And I had made a suggestion just in case it went late. A lot of the, when I saw the setup of the last one, it was a great setup for a concert venue. The problem was the noise that all the neighbors heard and the people that lived there. And I had suggested turning the stage and the speakers to go towards the field in Tarumo where nobody's at on a weekend. That might help the community that lives there, all the homes, just make the sound go that way, rather than to where the homes were. Have you thought about that at all?
Yes, ma'am. That's exactly what. Well, basically, what we did when we went outside and did the whole geographical area, that would be that was the only way it could go anyway.
Perfect.
Pointing towards Bratton Road,
Is that what it is?
or which direction?
Bridge.
No.
Towards
That-
It's the,
Oh, okay,
Towards-
pointing north.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Not pointing towards Gilpin, up that area that way, not Gilpin.
Yeah, instead
You
of
mean
going
pointing
across Street
towards,
Dell
like,
Express and
Truma.
that neighborhood,
Yeah,
up
Pointing
yeah.
towards Shorema,
it would
pointing
be
towards
turned to
Dallas.
go back to
Sure.
the field in Tarumo. And
So you have the stage set up on Belleville Road facing this way, instead of facing towards the road.
yes, sir.
Right.
Right.
Belleville.
Not
well,
Belleville.
I know what you meant.
Yeah,
I know what you meant.
Blue ball.
right.
Any other questions?
Okay. Any other questions?
See y'all there.
Take a look and
We'll
see how
give
it
them a
goes.
discount ticket. It's
Well, no,
I'd
$45.
like to see a
first and
poster in
foremost,
1 week.
everyone is invited, of course. Okay.
For $45.
No, but I mean, definitely everybody's invited. We would like to have the most finest foods out there, such as Jamaican food. My wife, she does cook the most best food in the world, I think. If you didn't try it, go get some. But it's going to be a ball, though. It's really is going to be a blast.
And who you say is going to be your security force?
We have
We've got with Lieutenant Waldridge and working out some finer details on that, but it's going to be local. Either local law enforcement will head it up, or it'll be also a security team.
Yeah, Executive International. I used to be a celebrity bodyguard / security. We did Allen Iverson, Vinny Hardaway, from all a lot of entertainers. Executive International, they will come in if needed. If we wanted to give, I told them we want to give Elkton an opportunity as far as dealing with employment. If anyone has to have chance to really want to participate in that first. If we don't have enough people to cover, I can bring a security company in.
Okay.
I think that's first and foremost is very important. You come into a town like this, which is a relatively quiet town. You bring in facets of people from here, there, and hopefully they come together on one accord.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But if you got security in place, and that's obvious, then that will do a whole lot to make things go smooth.
Yes, sir. I agree.
Prepared to pay. We talked with Elkton, Lieutenant Waldridge, if they have to beef up security, how you bill afterwards. We definitely want a strong force for the first one, so it sets a precedence for anything else.
It's coming, that's right. Said it's right the first time. Exactly.
First impression is the good impression.
Okay, any other questions?
No.
Okay,
All right, thanks.
good luck.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, hearing anything else, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second, okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned.